I have never seen numbers this bad for an incumbent president during my lifetime. I mean, that mental health to be president, just 27%. You might say, okay, you know, that's low, but a lot of people thought Biden was too old back in 2020. These numbers look nothing like this back in 2020. These numbers were bad already. And the truth is, Allison, they have gotten just considerably worse, even in just a few days after that first presidential debate.
The Biden campaign is in free fall right now. It is complete chaos. And now you have CNN having an absolute meltdown. It's crisis mode all over the place. Right here from Colin Rugg, it says, breaking, President Joe Biden's family is encouraging him to stay in the race, according to a new report from the New York Times. The strongest voice in the family for him to remain in the race was Hunter Biden, who Joe calls the smartest man he knows. Other family members seem to be on board, with one grandchild signaling they wanted to be more involved, potentially with influencers. One of the strongest voices imploring Mr. Biden to resist pressure to drop out is his son, Hunter, whom the president has long leaned on for advice, the New York Times reported. Hunter wants Americans to see the version of his father that he knows, scrappy and in command of the facts, rather than the stumbling, aging president Americans saw on Thursday night. I responded and I said, yeah, linking Hunter has the strongest voice to keep him in the race is meant to optically soften the blow for him leaving the race. No one is buying this. He's done. Can you imagine using Hunter Biden as your, hey, we're going to use Hunter to put Joe over? That's only going to make people go, yeah, if Hunter is the guy behind this, he needs to go. The meltdown is absolutely insane. And we have CNN losing their minds in full chaos mode right now.
We have new reporting that President Biden's family is encouraging the president to stay in the 2024 race, defying calls for him to step aside following his alarming performance on Thursday's debate. The family is meeting at Camp David tonight. This is part of a planned gathering that was scheduled before the debate, we're told. And the message out of that meeting, at least for now, appears to be support for the president to continue pursuing a second presidential term. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins us now in Washington. Priscilla, what's your latest reporting at this hour?
Well, the president is huddling with his family following the immediate fallout of his debate performance on Thursday night, and Biden advisors are telling CNN that his family is encouraging him to stay in the race and supporting him and expressing that support, including Hunter Biden and the president's grandchildren. These advisors also say
this is all meant to basically have like a couple of weeks of his family loves him and they're encouraging him to stay in. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, they're all rallying around Joe. Bill Clinton's making tweets. And then a couple of weeks later, it's going to be like, Joe really wanted to. He's such a patriot. He cares about this country so much that he is willing to step aside. That's what I predict is in the process right now.
Saying that the conversations have been focused on how the family can help the president and not whether he should reconsider his candidacy. Of course, all of these conversations follow what has transpired since Thursday night's debate, as there have been calls for the president to withdraw from the race, including in editorial boards, as well as all corners of the Democratic Party. Now, the president himself has also been collecting data anecdotally and through public polling as he too tries.
Yeah, I'm sure Biden's collecting data and just looking at the numbers and going over what the numbers mean. I'm sure that's what Joe Biden's doing. Seriously, the media they think that the American people are stupid. No one believes that he's sitting there going over the polling data so he can make an educated decision.
To assess what folks are feeling across the party, and that has been a deep concern. Panic has certainly set in. Donors have been racked with anxiety over the president's poor performance on Thursday night. Now, the president, of course, did participate in a fundraising blitz over the weekend where he, too, conceded that Thursday night was not his best debate performance, but said that he would continue to fight and that he wanted to stay in the race. But the president and his campaign are certainly, Allison, under great scrutiny tonight. And what we know so far from the huddle that he had with his family at Camp David today is that he has the support of his family and their encouragement. Of course, that is no small thing. These are key players in President Biden's orbit and have been crucial in a lot of his decision making when it comes to running for president.
Priscilla, thank you very much for all of that reporting. We're joined now by CNN senior data reporter Harry Enten. He was here to run the numbers. So, Harry, do we have?
Now, this guy right here, he's got it. There's an interesting thing he says in this little meltdown that he goes through. I'll point it out when it happens.
New poll numbers for President Biden post-debate?
We do. You know, CBS News YouGov conducted some polling post-debate. We can compare it to the pre-debate numbers. And the bottom line, Alice, it's not any good. It's not any good. Look at this. Voters who say that Biden has the mental health to be president. It was just 35% pre-debate. Look where it's dropped to now post-debate, 27%. How about that he should be running for president? It was 37% pre-debate. It's now 28%. I have never seen numbers this bad for an incumbent president during my lifetime. I mean, that mental health to be president, just 27%. You might say, okay, you know, that's low, but a lot of people thought Biden was too old back in 2020. These numbers look nothing like this back in 2020. These numbers were bad already, and the truth is, Allison, they have gotten just considerably worse, even in just a few days after that first presidential debate.
Harry, do we have polling yet that suggests that voters want a different candidate?
Yeah, this is the whole question, right? If it's not President Biden, then who could it be on the Democratic side? And the truth is, there are no easy answers. You know, I went back and looked at the polling versus Donald Trump for a bunch of different Democrats have been suggested. Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris. Look at this. They all trail Donald Trump. So the idea here that
he's freaking out so much that he's almost lost the soy in his voice. That's how much he's freaking out right now. The panic is at an all-time high for CNN and the mainstream media right now. They are desperate. They cannot figure this out. But again, just wait. I'll point out this thing he says.
We're somehow going to get this magic bullet that there's somehow going to be some Democrat.
Here it is. That was it. He said we're. The idea that we're going to have some magic. You're supposed to be an independent polling dude. And you're saying we when you're talking about the Democrats? Not biased at all, are you, CNN? Listen to him.
They all trail Donald Trump. So the idea here that we're somehow going to get this magic bullet, that there's somehow going to be some Democrat who can beat Donald Trump easily, I just don't see it in the numbers. At this particular point, if Joe Biden takes on Donald Trump, he's trailing. If there's another Democrat who runs against Donald Trump, they too are trailing. Perhaps you want to make the argument you bring in another Democrat who isn't as well known as Joe Biden, who has universal name recognition, and maybe they could change the numbers. But the fact is, any Democrat who entered the race right now, at least among those that are being suggested by a bunch of folks, they would all enter the race at this particular point as an underdog to former President Donald Trump.
And this is just fantastic to witness. It's all over the place right now. There's been tweets galore. There was another tweet from me that I wanted to show really quick right here. So the leading report says, breaking, Biden family is encouraging the president to stay in the race. And I said, this is meant to make Joe look like a true patriot when he announces he's stepping away for the good of the country. All bullshit optics right now. You're going to see this for the next couple of weeks. You're just going to see bullshit optics. As a person that is a big wrestling fan, the term putting somebody over, all right, that's something you say in the wrestling business. You put someone over, the passing of the torch type of thing. That's what you're going to see right now. You're going to see top Democrats putting Joe Biden over for the next few weeks. You're going to hear nothing but he has the support of his family. He has the support of his friends. He has the support of key players in the Democratic Party. And we're going to have that for a few weeks. And then you're going to get the, oh, he's so brave for stepping away. Like, that's what I think is going to happen. I say this again, like I've said it already many times. I hope I'm wrong. I want Joe Biden to be the nominee. And there is a potential that they are just screwed and they have to stick with this. But as I said in my previous video, just like companies and corporations and marketing firms, they put fillers out there to test the waters. That's why things leak. The studio leaks. They leak information so they can see what the public perception of that leak is. That's what's happening right now with the Democrats, is they're putting this information out there. The mainstream media is putting it out there, and they're trying to see what will the reaction be if we get rid of him. And I don't know how this next month is going to play out, but I guarantee you for the next couple weeks we're going to hear them putting him over big time, and then we'll see what happens. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.